Well, welcome back. This is Stocks to Watch, and today we are with Copper Fox Metals, a Canadian resource company advancing a focused portfolio of porphyry copper projects in North America, trading on the TSXV under CUU, the OTCQX under CPFXF, and the FSE under HPU. We are privileged to be joined by President and CEO Elmer B. Stewart. First and foremost, welcome, sir.
Good morning.
Well, such a pleasure to get you on. And I just want to dive into this. I mean, you've shared results from your last geotechnical work and updates on what's happening this year at the Schaft Creek. For people who don't know the project well, how would you describe the value it holds and these results and what they mean moving it forward?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Well, Schaft Creek is one of the largest undeveloped porphyry copper systems in North America. And when you look at our last resource statement, which is in our website, and I suggest people take a look at our website and look at the corporate presentation. I think they'll find it quite interesting. It's got probably around about 10 billion pounds of copper in it in all resource categories, over 8 million ounces of gold, a lot of molybdenum as well, and plus a lot of silver. Now, if you're looking for valuation, we did a PEA there in 2021, and we used 325 a pound copper. And to show you what the implied value could have changed since that time to now, right now we are using 425 a pound copper as a long-term copper pricing because we always use long-term pricing, not spot pricing. And one of the economic sensitivities we showed that every time the price of copper goes up or goes down by 25 cents a pound, which 325, 425, that's four times, it increases the net present value of the company on an after-tax basis for every 25-cent incremental increase by $240 million. So if you look at the value of the PEA, $842 million, and you take 240 times four, and the same for gold and the same for molybdenum, you can see there's a tremendous pile of implied value. The other thing is we still don't know how big the size of the deposit is, and it's quite large in its own right, but it seems every time we drill it, the geotechnical drilling, it still continues to intersect mineralization. So the one thing the geotech drilling did for us, it pretty much confirmed what we thought in 2021, which is kind of good because that would suggest that the strip ratio, life of mine, is going to stay around 1 to 1, which is, when you look at it for porphyry systems, that's pretty low when you look at the life of mine.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of opportunity here for sure, especially in this kind of new commodity bull run. And I wouldn't mind talking and pivoting a little bit because you also brought solar to the site, which is a big step toward renewable energy. How is that working out so far, and what else is happening on the ground right now?
Yeah, the solar panels, that was an idea. It was, we did that a couple of years ago. We got it running this year. And what it does, it really adds about 80% of the capacity of electrical needs for the camp. And why that's important is that it cuts down on the need to bring in like diesel fuel to run generators. And when you do that, you got to bring them in by airplane and, this, that, and the other thing. So you're really actually starting to reduce your carbon footprint of the project. But what's going on there is they're getting close to the end of their season. And what we're doing this year is we're looking at doing some work under the waste rock storage facility number 2, where we're looking at the tailings storage facility, and that implies some diamond drilling, some geophysical surveys, archaeological work, environmental work, just getting more certainty on various aspects of the project. Because one of the things that the goal for this year is, and I hope we can achieve it, but there's no guarantee that the tech will make the decision to transition the project to the preliminary feasibility stage.
Yeah, and your 2025 drilling program has kicked off at the south of the Liard zone. Why is this area so important, and where else are you planning to explore?
That is the area designated as waste rock storage facility number 2. In order to be able to establish the waste rock facility there, we have to show the government, the regulators, that there is no resource potential there. And so idea, you have to do some diamond drilling to see if there is mineralization there. And then, it's, if you do that, then we can use it. If there is mineralization there, then clearly we've got to go look for another site. And, and there are other potential sites in the area, but that's the most optimal one we have right now.
Yeah, let's talk about over at the Sombrero Butte. I mean, you've updated your exploration model and are getting ready to drill. You've talked about finding a near-surface, highly evolved porphyry system. What is the significance of this, and what other important updates to the model have you made?
Well, the key is that it's highly evolved because all the work we did clearly it checked off all the boxes, and that is exceptionally important because you can get such things as failed porphyry copper systems. They'll give you some indications, but they failed. Looks like this one hasn't. The second thing is near surface, and near surface is always better than deep projects. Like you want to find the next big porphyry copper system close to surface because of the implied economics. And so, what we're doing right now is we're doing some work on the MT. We're trying to get a little bit better. And one other thing I would like to say is that what we're doing now is we're actually sitting down and looking at the places where we would think gives us the best chance for a discovery if we get to drilling. But what we would have to do first, we have to file a plan of operation with the government, with the regulators in Arizona or federal regulators. And then we're going to have to show them where we want to drill, and then they're going to have to tell us what they want us to do before they grant us that permit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to kind of shift a little bit to the bullish sentiment. I mean, two research firms have started covering Copper Fox, and Atrium even gave you a strong buy rating. What do you think prompted them to issue this upgrade in the ratings?
Well, if you look at the company, I mean, look at our portfolio. I mean, we've got two projects that are advancing to the preliminary feasibility stage, which is a major milestone. We got one project that's already have a very substantive resource, and the results of the geophysical survey we just put out last week on Eaglehead clearly shows that the potential for that resource to grow substantially. And then we've got Mineral Mountain. We're going to drill that when the temperature comes down a little bit, and there's potential for new discovery. And so the idea is, and you look at the location of our projects. If you look at the implied value of Schaft Creek and potentially the same as Van Dyke, which I explained there is for Schaft Creek, the idea is that we've got a great portfolio. We've got a lot of implied value, and we got a great chance for making a new discovery in Arizona. So, the idea is there is a lot of compelling parts to Copper Fox, and I think that's one of the things that the Atrium guys liked.
Yeah, and Elmer, roll back a little bit for us. I wouldn't mind kind of getting a little bit about you. I mean, what got you most excited about leading Copper Fox, especially right now in this new kind of copper boom?
Well, I tell you what I like about it is over the last few years, we built a very, very good portfolio. It's a solid portfolio of advanced projects, advanced exploration, and then exploration projects. And we've always wanted to do that. But they're in tier one jurisdictions, so we're pretty insulated from geopolitical things other than what goes on in Canada and the United States. And right now, there's a lot going on in the United States. But the thing is, I mean, I like that, and the fact that we set a program, we have an interpretation, and so far our interpretations are pretty much substantially correct. And we've been able to advance the Schaft Creek through with tech. Obviously, they're doing the operation. We're advancing all our projects across all the fronts, and so far, it's been very, very the results have been very positive. So I find that rewarding, and I also think that being in the copper space at this time, with the potential future and with the metal commodities that we have in our portfolios, I think it's a good time to be in the space, and I think Copper Fox is the right assets to participate.
Yeah, and I think you've given us a lot here, but maybe just anecdotally to add to it. I mean, any last messages for investors on the fence? Why should they be adding Copper Fox metals to their portfolios?
Well, if you look at our assets and you look at some recommendations from the third parties, then clearly I believe we're undervalued compared to our peers, and that's not very hard to demonstrate. And so the thing is that we're in North America. We are critical metals. We have good implied value, and when you think about it, I mean that if you're interested in speculating in the junior resource space, which Copper Fox is a junior resource company, then I think it's a pretty compelling look.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that note, as always, we'll pass it off to the viewers. We'd love to know what you think in that comment section below. Consider subscribing as news and catalysts come down the wire like this. Of course, we'll bring it to you here. And to learn more, go to copperfoxmetals.com. Of course, we'll leave all the links in the description below. But on that, we look forward to catching you in the next one.